Okay, we're picking up with video number 2. We're still on number 4. Had to answer a phone call. So here's the whole skull. We looked at the eye orbits. Now we're looking at the dentition. Are there incisors? Phone does not want to focus today. And then canines. Check those out. Cheek teeth. So what might this one eat? Predator, prey, or both? Auditory bullae. One of them's broken, but you can see the other one. Is it big or small in relation to the rest of the skull? What might that mean? My dog. Sorry. Lower part of the skull, the jaw here, same animal. Incisors, canines, cheek teeth. There we go. Number 5. The whole skull here. Naturalized species to Florida. So you're looking at the orbits, big or small in relation to the skull. Are they on the front or on the sides of the head? What about the nasal area? Is it long or short? Auditory bullae. Big or small in relation to the rest of the skull? Dentition. So we got incisors, canines, cheek teeth. What do they look like? What kind of things might it eat? Lower jaw. Incisors, canines, cheek teeth. What might it eat? I'll give you a little tip here. Remember I mentioned carnassial teeth. And it's a certain premolar and molar that fit together exactly for shearing motion. It's these two guys. There was another skull we looked at so far that had those. I didn't point it out. I know that this doesn't stay in focus all the time, so bear with me. Number 6. This is not a species that we have in Florida at all, but it was mentioned in the presentation. So when you guess for the species on the data sheet, you may or may not get it, and that's okay. The guessing of the species isn't going to be a right or wrong to where you'll get counted off, but make a good guess. If you look back through, it was mentioned. But even without knowing the species, you should still be able to get all of the other things, like, is it predator or prey? Carnivore, herbivore, omnivore. So look at its eye orbits in relation to its skull, big or small, on the side or in the front. Definitely not in the front, right? Dentition. This skull doesn't open all the way because it still has the cartilage attached back here. But you can see incisors, canines, cheek teeth. What do they look like? What might it eat? The overall size you can see with my hand here. So what might that be? Oh, auditory bullae. You can see them both there. They're both intact. What do they look like in relation to the rest of the skull? Okay. Number 7. This isn't a real skull. It's a replica. I do have a real skull of this species, but it's just delicate, so we'll use the replica. It looks exactly the same. So, eye orbits. Large, small in relation to the size of the skull. Look at this eye orbit in relation to the size of the skull. Look at that eye orbit. You don't know what I'm talking about here. Here's the orbit. Here's the orbit. The nose area. Short, long. I mean, remember this one we just looked at? Nasal area compared to over here. Dentition. Incisors present. Hold on, let's get this to focus. Are they canines? Cheek teeth? What do they look like? Are they flattened? Are they sharp? Here we go. Focus. Lower jaw. Let's put it together. Doesn't want to cooperate with me. Hold on just a second. Okay, that was number 7. Make a guess of the species. Native species to Florida. Number 8. Another native species to Florida. Look at the size of this skull. I'll just move this one over here for a second. Okay. Much larger. Look at the eye orbits in relation to the rest of the skull. Remember? The nasal area